It's time. I know this is like a college ball, but it's time for the Buffalo Bills. They've arrived. Well, they arrived last year, but this year, I think everybody's expecting them to be great. Sort of like how when Patrick Mahomes had arrived and then the following year they won the Super Bowl. This is kind of what everybody feels like about the Bills. So let's talk about it. Let's get right in today's video. Like and subscribe. As we typically do with these videos, sorry, I want to readjust my football, which I usually keep right there. But guys, with these videos, as usual, I like to shout out Adam Rank, who I use for his information on this. He does a great job of putting it all together. Besides that, I'd also like to shout out you guys. You guys do a great job of commenting, and like and subscribe. We're trying to grow a great community for the football. So let's get into it. I don't know why I said for the football. Let's get right into the Buffalo Bills, coached by Sean McDermott with MVP candidate Josh Allen. And look, this is a team that, first off, Sean McDermott is the guy, okay? He's the guy. They were able to beat, the Chiefs, but, they had that heartbreaker in the playoffs. And this is year 6 for Sean McDermott. He has the coaching experience, which is a huge factor in the NFL. And supposedly Pro Football Focus labeled McDermott the 16th best coach in the NFL in their 22 head coaching rankings. While the defense is great, supposedly his teams aren't good on offense. And the Bills were 3rd in NFL scoring offense last year. So Pro Football Focus, shut the fuck up. Now, Josh Allen. Listen to this. The year Josh Allen broke out, I had drafted him with one of my top picks in fantasy football, and all my, friends in my fantasy league were like, "You're an idiot. You drafted Josh Allen." I think he was going into his 2nd or 3rd season, and everyone was telling me I was stupid. And then he broke out, and he was like the best player in best player in fantasy football. So I tried to do the same thing with Daniel Jones, and that didn't work out. But So look, Allen became one of the 6 quarterbacks in NFL history with at least 5,000 offensive yards, 42 touchdowns in one season. He also had 7 games in which he rushed for at least 50 yards. And Allen's one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the NFL, allegedly. He led the league with 70.8% completion rate in the 4th quarter and overtime during regular last season. Also had 18 passing touchdowns on 3rd and 4th down. And that was tied for the most with Brady. So I'm just saying, he's like a better quarterback. He's like already a big time quarterback, and we all give him credit for that, but he's better than what people give him credit for. They're like, yeah, he's nice, but we need to see more. But no, it's like, I'll tell you, what we've seen from Josh Allen is like quite ridiculous. And then he has Stephon Diggs. Like, nobody talks about that. Like, they have Stephon Diggs, okay? And people know I'm a Vikings and Ravens fan. So for me, it's just like, damn, Stephon Diggs. And when I look at this team, the offense is loaded. You got, first off, Josh Allen, the quarterback room's great. Matt Barkley and Case Keenum back there. I feel like Matt Barkley, been on the Bills forever. I know he went to Tennessee and Carolina and the Falcons for a little bit between there, but damn, Barkley, are you trying to play for every team? Remember when you were the top quarterback coming out of high school? And Taiwan Jones, the guy who's played cornerback, now he plays running back again. And he's literally played multiple positions. And he's a return man. Now he's on the Bills again. Taiwan Jones is there. But those guys, they have a good receiving core, okay? And even the running back core, like, obviously we assume Zach Moss and Devin Singletary will do most of it with James Cook and Duke Johnson, spelling them. And then the receiving core, Diggs, Gabriel Davis. They brought in Jamison Crowder, who people forget about. He just, he played for the Redskins, was awesome. I mean, the Washington football team. They were called the Redskins back then. And then he played for the New York Jets. Kind of fell off the radar on the Jets, but I think he'll be a guy who will break out again here. And then they still have, obviously Isaiah McKenzie, who, was a dog. He changed his number to 6, actually. And I do like it. They also brought Tavon Austin, I truly believe is going to be their return man with Taiwan Jones, but also sneaky slot guy. Brought in OJ Howard to complement Dawson Knox, and that'll be fun. And the line's good. Okay, Deion Dawkins. They have Spencer Brown and Mitch Morse, David Quisenberry, Roger Saffold. Okay, Greg Van Roten, Jordan Simmons, Luke Tenuta. Young guy they brought him. So that offensive line's good. And obviously, they need to keep that MVP upright. Buffalo has recorded at least 10 wins in 3 consecutive seasons for the first time since those Super Bowl campaigns in the 1990s. Okay, the Bills are 11-1 against the East since 2020. And that kind of dominance was what we used to see from the Patriots. Now, obviously, Josh Allen needs to continue to be him. Obviously, they brought in on a 6-year, $120 million deal, Von Miller. And he's the active sack leader with 115.5 sacks since 2011. And he was a mercenary last year for the Rams after being traded for a bag of donuts to the Rams from the Broncos. And he won a Super Bowl. And now, look, imagine, first off, if he wins a Super Bowl with the Bills, he'd be the first person since Matt Millen did it. Matt Millen wasn't active on the Washington Redskins team, Joe Gibbs, but it would be, he still got a ring with that team. But Vaughn, if he played in it, would be the first to appear in and win 3 Super Bowls with different teams, aka the LeBron, because LeBron's done that in the NBA. Then guys, Greg Rousseau, did I say that correctly? Rousseau or Rousseau? Greg Rousseau from Miami, right? I want to say he's from Miami. I'm like 95% sure he's from Miami. They also brought in Shaq Lawson on the line too. And they still have Carlos Bassam Jr., who they drafted in the 2nd round last year, and AJ Epicena, who they drafted 2 years ago. And yeah, Greg Rousseau, hopefully I'm saying that right. They even have Ed Oliver and Jordan Phillips there. This is such a good D line right here. But this 1st round pick, Greg, had 4 sacks his rookie year and tied for the 2nd most on the team. And now with Von Miller and all these other guys I mentioned previously there crashing on the line, don't be shocked that this guy has double-digit sacks. Obviously, week 1, they play the Rams, who could be without Matthew Stafford. Might have Jimmy Garoppolo starting for them. Will be interesting. Then week 6 against the Chiefs will be interesting. And then week 17 against the Cincinnati Bengals, which should have been the AFC Championship last year, will be a great one. Now, like I mentioned, they have a lot of running backs. Who's going to be the running back? Supposedly, so this is where Adam Rank says, as a fantasy guru, it's always been wild to me that as great as the Bills' offense has been in recent years, they really haven't been a running back to rely on. The Bills ranked 6th in rushing yards last season, but it was mainly because of Josh Allen, who rushed for 6.3 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns on 122 attempts, which is basically 600 plus yards. And then Devin Singletary down the stretch was averaging 71.7 yards per game and 8 rushing touchdowns from week 15 through the playoffs. And supposedly Adam Rank says he loves James Cook, who's the younger brother of Dalvin Cook, the Vikings running back. And Cook had 1,000 yards from scrimmage and 11 touchdowns for the national champions last year. He had 27 receptions and 284 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns for the team. So he says James Cook is the guy you should be keeping your eye out to take over Devin Singletary. Now, Ed Oliver had 4 sacks and set career high with 14 quarterback hits and 10 tackles for a loss. Michael Hyde had 74 tackles, 5 picks, and 10 pass defense. Jordan Poyer, 91 tackles, 5 picks, 10 pass defense, earned PFF grades that put them both in top 10 safety spots. And then, Tre'Davious White, who tore his ACL in week 12, will probably be back, but we still aren't 100% sure when he'll return, but he'll be back. They also drafted in with the 23rd pick Kyrie Elam. Hopefully I said that. And also, I would expect Dane Jackson to play a little bit until White returns, but hey, it'll be fun. Now, one storyline to check it out is that Jamison Crowder might be the receiver you want to watch because Gabe Davis is awesome, and I'm on the Gabe Davis trade, but Adam Rank says, the guy's going to be great in year 3, but Jamison Crowder is going to be the guy who replaces Cole Beasley. And 3 seasons with the Bills, Cole Beasley ranked 2nd in slot targets, 2nd in slot catches with 266 targets, 194 catches, and 3rd in receiving yards with 2,087. So, Crowder, who's 4 years younger than Beasley, ranked 8th or better among receivers in those categories in the same span. He should be in line for a healthy workload if he's healthy. And no receiver in the NFL has been targeted more than Diggs' 329 targets in the 2 seasons since he's joined the Bills. So the 2nd most target player on that team by far was Beasley. And Ken Dorsey replaces, Brian Daboll. And Dorsey's promotion was more, continuity, which will have stability, and offensively the team should be fine. And the Bills went 17 seasons without a playoff berth before Sean McDermott arrived, and he ended that drought in the first season of the job. I always thought I always thought Rex Ryan took them to the playoff. I'm pretty sure Rex Ryan took this team to the playoff. Adam Rank, I think you're wrong. I think they went to the playoffs under. Okay, never mind. You're right. Sean McDermott took them to the playoffs because I truly thought it was going to be Rex Ryan who took it, but never mind. I think it's funny. I actually used to love Rex Ryan. Thought he was funny. But that's basically the video.